Welcome back. It is still iBrand Daybreak. Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's talk about the SMEs in Ibadan. Small and medium scale enterprises are generally regarded as the engine of economic growth and equitable development in both the developed and developing economies. According to the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, your state has 6,131 SMEs. That's quite a number, and it makes it the state with the second highest number of SMEs in Nigeria, with a growing population of over 10 million people. The pace-setter state is indeed a burgeoning hub for emerging small businesses. Let's talk further on the growth of SMEs and businesses in this city. And to have that conversation with me this morning is a beautiful, beautiful lady, Omobolanle Adedeji. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
You're very, very welcome. She's the CEO, Wupiyon Limited. Let's delve straight into the conversations. SMEs in Ibadan or your state, or your people have made a name for themselves, being very enterprising, being serious. I mean, it's the ancient city. From all the way back, you guys have been doing a lot of great stuff. But let's talk about the economy in recent times and the growth of SMEs over time. How would you say Ibadan or your state is doing right now?
Okay, so I would say we are doing great. Yeah, I came back to, I grew up in Ibadan. I left, I went to work in the white collar job like every one of us always wanted to. But I came back to Ibadan 6 years ago, and the changes I've seen since I left, when I started business and currently, has been tremendous. For example, when I moved into Ibadan, there was just ShopRite. That was the only major mall in Ibadan. But ever since I moved in, we've had a lot of malls in Ibadan, which have been supporting small businesses, because then we've been taking stores in some of these malls. We've been promoting our businesses, and then the social media has also been helping us to sell beyond Ibadan. But then, irrespective of where we sell to, the income is coming back to Ibadan. So we've been growing, we've been expanding. A lot of young people are more interested in businesses, and not just businesses buying and selling, like doing something reasonable, entrepreneurship, and making impact.
Acquiring skills as well.
I can say we are doing well, and from what you can see, Ibadan is developing well, and then from the little knowledge that I have, I think our the tax is also doing well, which is also making development that you guys can see in Ibadan.
Okay, we would actually go into taxation. That's like different. But let's look at the kind of businesses that thrive in Ibadan and also give us factors that make these businesses thrive.
Okay, so it is majorly small businesses, like as Smidan has made quite obvious. Small businesses like people who are selling and buying, adding value to products like farm produce. Beyond the farm produce, people are now adding value to the farm produce. Some of us, we are into fashion designing. Schools are springing up. I have a vocational school also in Ibadan. So that these are businesses that are thriving well, that I've seen so far. However, that's not to say the big businesses are also not thriving in Ibadan, but majorly people who have small income to start something small thrive easily and faster in Ibadan compared to other parts of Nigeria, to the best of my knowledge.
When you were talking, you mentioned being in the fashion industry. Did you make what you're wearing?
Yes.
I must say, it is very beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, let's continue in this conversation. So Ibadan is like an hour 30 minutes away from Lagos. Being so close to a big city like Lagos, and with the way Lagos is speeding and skyrocketing with growth, and it's like the economic hub of West Africa, if I'm permitted to say that. And a city like Ibadan being so very close and trying to grow in its business environment as well. How would you say that proximity has affected SMEs growth in Ibadan?
Okay, so because first of all, Lagos is not just the business hub, it also have the international airport, ports and stuff. So it helps us get things out of Ibadan faster. So with 2,000 naira, or depending on how heavy your product is, you can get things to Lagos faster, and then from Lagos outside Nigeria. So it's been, I believe for me, it's been encouraging small business that want to go into the export business, and then for some of us who buy products from outside Nigeria, it also help us bringing it into Ibadan is faster and easier than when I was in Abuja, for example. So it's easier, it's making, we were able to sell either in Ibadan or outside Ibadan. We are able to sell and then export our stuff outside Nigeria really fast. And then of course, because Lagos is close to us, it's easy for us to go for exhibitions. It's easy for us to go for fashion show, for because I'm in the fashion business, fashion show and stuff. So it makes it, it gives us visibility beyond Ibadan and Oyo State. And then because you already said it's the business hub, so we are trying to swim in the ocean of the business.
You don't see Lagos as a competition then?
Yeah, it's a competition, but competition is what makes you keep going, keep advancing, keep doing best. So we see, when we go for fashion show, we see what is going on in Lagos, and we're like, you know what, let's take this back to Ibadan. And then this is some of the things that has been giving us edges. I'm speaking from a fashion perspective right now. So there are lots of fashion businesses in Ibadan, but when we go for fashion shows in Lagos, we see different countries showcase their work, we see what is going on, and then we see the trend in Lagos, and then we bring it back to Ibadan. And then because it's fresh and it's new, it's been making our businesses thrive better. So yeah, it's a competition. It has its own downside, but it also has its own high sides.
Okay, now let's dive into the fashion industry, because that's like your main core. So how would you see setting up the fashion industry in Ibadan? How would you explain the process to us?
Okay, so setting up a fashion business in Ibadan is easier because I started my business in Abuja. So comparing Abuja and Ibadan is pretty easier. Like I said, you have access to machines faster and cheaper compared to taking it down to the north. And then we also have access to fabrics, latest fabrics. And then because Ibadan also has a lot of beautiful people, creative people making fabrics in terms of adire now, we have easy access to some of those products. And then aside that, because Ibadan is a little bit slow, the house rent, the shop rent, everything are not as high as Abuja and Lagos. It makes it pretty easy to start with the business with little capital compared to, you don't need millions upon millions to start the business in Ibadan compared to other places. Yes, however, starting a fashion business is a little bit slow in Ibadan compared to Lagos and Abuja or Port Harcourt, but you have to keep pushing, keep putting your brand out there so people get to know you more and more. Yeah, but here and there.
All right, let's talk about, you know, the taxation part of things. Debbie had mentioned that earlier. How do you deal with taxation? Taxation, it's touchy. That talk is touchy, you know, because almost every business in Nigeria is complaining about
experience
taxation.
that,
Experience, they have like different not nice experiences. Different states have their own stories to tell. So how do you get through that, and you know, managing taxation with competitions? Because I know that you are not the only fashion house in Ibadan, and you know, everybody is trying to grow and be better and bigger. And then how do you manage also to get across to your target market?
Okay, so let's start with the tax. For the taxation is like you said, is a pain. But then if we also look at the development that has been happening in Ibadan compared to some years ago, it gives us the kind of like happiness to say, okay, we are seeing what we're paying for. But then I believe it could be easier on us because a lot of businesses in Ibadan are small businesses. Some of them are owned by young people that got into business due to unemployment issue and stuff. So I believe the government can still incentivize us by reducing, especially the income tax is a little bit high, but that's on the federal level. But the state level, I think they could also help us to reduce some kind of multiple taxes that we've been paying. For example, we pay artisan fee aside from paying normal taxes. and then some people just pop in sometimes and say you need to pay for your signposts and this and that. So some of these things can be, yeah, they can work on it to help us to have something tangible to go home with monthly, because there are months that you're asking yourself, who did I offend? And there are months that you think, hallelujah.
Yeah.
But then, so the months that we have almost nothing to compare with happen to suffer when we have to pay the annual tax, income tax, especially then the VAT. If other people don't understand VAT, you need to find a way of putting the VAT in your price so that it's not also too high. So these are the issues that we have to deal with taxation. And then the second question, the competition. Okay, so the fashion business is a red ocean. It's a cutthroat business, to be frank. There are a lot of people out there, but the social media, like I said, has been helping us. Although there are some rules now that are also making social media a little bit also difficult for us, but then we'll still look for how to survive. But then beyond social media and every other media, the best thing is to push in your best each time you are going out. Do your best, keep improving on your skill, be the best in your field, and then when you are the best in your field, people keep looking for you. I have a lot of mentors that I look up to in the fashion industry. I thrive every day to be like them and then to be better than them. So if I'm better than them, it means somebody who wants their product might also want my product. So this is the strategy I've been using. I keep improving on my skills. I'm looking at doing masters in fashion business.
Nice.
Because I'm a fashion instructor, I'm not just a fashion designer. So I'm also looking at going abroad to see how things are being done, what equipment are they using that is making production cheaper and faster. So these are the things that all of us could look into. And then I need to quickly chip in that the NUPC has been helping us in that regard, exposing people in Ibadan to a lot of beautiful things, especially outside Ibadan. So these are the things that I have been doing to keep ahead of my competitors, to see that I'm better than I was yesterday. The produce that I make today I have to improve on it tomorrow, so that I don't get stale. So this is what I've been doing, because it's a creative industry. You have to keep advancing your skill.
So, all right. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, target market. Do you?
Okay, so the target market in Ibadan is let me say, it's difficult to stay with a particular demography in Ibadan, because Ibadan is filled with young people, and then the people who have the purchasing power are the people who either run a business or who work as civil servants. So you need to look at what can young people buy that is not too expensive, and what can civil servants buy that will not kill their salary. So this is what we've been working with. So but majorly our target are young people who are into the business or who are career women and men. So we design casual wear, corporate wears and corporate casual wears, and then but because we need to survive, we also dive into
that part.
we also dive into the Ashwebi
Yeah.
aspect of it, but majorly we design for young people who are in the corporate world.
All right, Debbie, if there is no further, because I cannot wait.
I'm thinking, what advice would you give people who intend to venture into fashion business? And would you advise anyone from Lagos to migrate to Ibadan to actually start up a fashion business?
So let me start with migration.
Okay.
So if you think, because one of the reasons why I migrated out of Abuja to Ibadan to pick up my business is because the rent in Abuja is crazy and is buying too much into what we're making. So if you think you're experiencing the same thing in Lagos, and you think you've seen a place in Ibadan that is not as crazy in terms of rent as Lagos, why not? You'd perhaps need to keep in mind that you'll lose some of your clients and then you'll gain new ones if you are that good. So for the young people who want to go into the fashion business, it's a creative business. You have to sharpen your skills first, And then because it's a cutthroat, competitive business, you have to be good. There's no middle ground. We've seen a lot of what I order versus what I get.
Of course.
You don't want to be
I
called
was
out.
going to mention that because
You don't want to be called out on social media in a business where someone who is bringing stuff for you is already dousing you, and then your name is being dragged out on social media again. So it means you're going to lose more clients and more trust from people. So be sure that this thing, I'm good at it, before you go out there and you start collecting people's clothes or you start doing adverts. It's easy to do adverts. The difficult part is the delivery. And then if you're also coming to the fashion business, please, the fashion business have evolved. We're no longer in the age of come and collect your clothes on Thursday and you're running away. They're not seeing you. Please, if you do that 1-2 times, that's the end. They go to the next person. So it is not about doing bad for your clients now. It is doing bad for your business when you disappoint your clients. So think about it. Make sure you bite what you can chew, and then make sure you keep advancing your skill, because crazy styles come out every time.
I'm sure Zoe can't wait for Amala.
Okay.
She has been, you know.
Okay, no, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. I cannot wait for this show to finish.
Just
so that...
piece of advice, heartburger to your ewedu.
All right. Thank you so much. For a moment there, I thought we were in a seminar. You know, I was about to ask for pen and paper.
It is actually very true.
Yeah,
you know.
very. Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Thank you so much, Omobolanle, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me
It's
on your
been
show.
very insightful.
Of course.
All right, it is still iBrand Day break. When we come back from this quick break, we will be going into the entertainment industry. Do not forget that we're still reaching you live from the ancient city of Ibadan. So, Ibadan people, we are ready for you.
Of course we are.
Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.